Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this week. And what a week it has been. Holy banana bread. There's a lot of interesting news going on this week. Um, in fact, I had already had the news all ready for the show, and I had to add an extra story. I almost added two. We're still going to talk about both of the ones I added, but it's been a busy week. It's been a busy news week, that's for sure. So we're going to have a lot of fun with that. Also, this is the first of the month. Well, not as in, October 1st, but this is the first this week of October. That means we got some channel memberships to give away today. We definitely have at least 10. Usually I throw out 10, sometimes 11. Maybe I'll go crazy and throw out 12. I just don't know. We'll figure that out. Now, oh boy, there's so much going on in the show. This is also where we throw out the subscriber sponsored video, the option for that. So how that works, if you have never heard of this before, if you guys missed it last month, we began this last month. So each month we have a subscriber sponsored video. So we open it up on today, on the first Sunday, the same Sunday we give our giveaways. So how it works is Super Chat of $20 earns you the subscriber sponsored video. And then you tell me who I'm deep diving. There's no vote. You jump the line right up to the front. You get your deep dive of your dream. You could even if you ask for a list video, I'll probably do that too. Yeah, that's what's up for grabs. First come, first serve. Simple as that. If we don't get a taker by the end of the show, then we'll leave it open for the people who are watching it on the replay. But by the time we do our next live stream on Wednesday, not including tomorrow night, and I'll talk about that in a second, we'll keep it going. We'll keep it going. We'll see. If we just get it done in the show, then we don't even have to worry about the details of what if it doesn't go. So, and I will bring that up a little bit later as well for people who are coming in late, just to remind you guys of what is going on. All right. Tomorrow night, October 7th, is, well, my very first video on this channel came out 3 years ago, October 7th. So tomorrow is officially our 3-year birthday for the channel. We're having a live stream to celebrate that tomorrow night. No topics, but you can still ask all your questions. I am, well, by popular request, people have loved that the Hot Ones episode that I did back. What was that? The 2000 sub celebration. I did the Hot Ones challenge. People have been loving that, and they're like, "I want to see you suffer again." I know. Sometimes I wonder, are those really my friends? Maybe. But yeah, so I'm going to have a chicken something. I don't know I think it's a chicken nugget. I don't know what it is. Jill knows what it is. I'm going to have a chicken nugget with a teaspoon, not a tablespoon, a teaspoon of Da Bomb on it. So there will be sweating. There will maybe be hiccups. I will probably be making sounds that sound like seagulls mating. I mean, it's going to be fun. You don't want to miss it. And if you do miss it, it'll be on the replay. So you definitely don't want to miss the replay if you missed the live version. And that's when you want to save your really hard questions. Because as I'm suffering, I'm going to do my best to answer questions. So yeah, let's do that. Now, I did mention this is a giveaway show as well. So we have those channel memberships. There's no time like the present to drop the first one. Let's get it going here. Bang, bang. I know I tried last week, but all right. But I got it working. Bang. Here we go. Who's the first winner? Prairie Investor. Prairie has won. Fantastic. This is awesome. Congratulations, Perry. Perry. Prairie. Congratulations. It is going to, you're going to be joined. You're going to be joined by some more folks later through this show. All right. I've almost got through all of my preamble. Oh, a lot of preamble on this show. So much preamble, I'm not even going to mention Blossom and how it's a really great app for social media folks to connect, talk about stocks and things, and that there's a link below. No, not going to talk about that at all. You guys can figure that part out on your own. All right, let's get to the chat. Whew. Jonathan, in the house first. Am I on time? You're early, my good bud. You're early. Bismarcky follows in with a happy Sunday to everyone. And here's Prairie, our first winner of the day. Good afternoon and happy Sunday, everyone. Sammer's in with a hello all. We got JJ with a howdy early crew. StreamYard link. What's that? I don't know what a StreamYard link is. I will on, just so you guys know, I do occasionally drop the link in case you guys want to come on and talk. Now, on the weekend show, that'll never happen until after we've gotten through the news. That'll never happen before the news is done. So, in other words, it's not going to happen in that first hour, even for my mod, All right. Let's see. Also, leaves are turning orange real fast. Yeah. Welcome to the fall. It's here. We're definitely looking at the fall now. It is starting to get chilly. I have actually had to throw my hoodie on at least once already. So yeah, it's here. Oh boy. All right. Let's see here. Mary is in the house with a hello. And of course, because Mary's here, guys, you know what Mary always says, smash the like button. I'm going to have some coffee. Well, you guys all hit that like button. There's 33 of you in here right now as people are still rolling in. We should have 33 likes. We really should. Well, let's say 32, because there's probably at least 2 people who are on some device that it's just really, really hard to like with. Oh, God, that's so good. All right. Funny Books is in the house with a hello all. And we got Jordan. Jordan's in here. Hello, Candace. Hope you're doing well this fine Sunday. I sure am. Always good to see you, Jordan. We got Jay in the house. Jay is saying, hi, everyone. Hello, Jay. Good to see you. Let's see. JJ says, couple of tablespoons of the bomb, actually. No, we're not doing a couple of tablespoons of the bomb. Last week, JJ was saying I should just have a whole feast of stuff with the bomb on it so that I could just be suffering through the entire stream. Not doing it. We'll have the one. Funny Book says, am I the only one concerned how high those leaves are that the bull and bear are raking? I know. Well, they do live in the forest, so maybe that's why there's a lot of leaves there. But I mean, who actually rakes the forest? I don't know. It's actually funny trying to get this picture. The AI was messing it up big time. This is the one I like this one, but I actually wanted them to be on a lawn and with a lot less leaves. But for some reason, the AI convinced itself that the bear should be wearing the green shirt. And I'm like, no, the bear is red. The bear always wears red. But yeah, so I ended up going with this one. I just wasn't happy with all of the other results. This is the closest one to what I was going for. So yeah, a lot of leaves. Kids would like it, though, to jump in the leaves. I used to do that as a kid, and now as an adult, I'm like thinking of all of the things that could possibly be in those leaves, and I would not jump in them at all. All right. A Jungle is in the house with a hi. A little bit of celebration here because Prairie won the first free membership today. We got more. Don't worry. Terry Crow in the house. Big old hi, folks. Prairie says, wow, was not expecting this, but thank you. Oh, you're welcome. The algorithm, it looks at how active you are. If you're active and you're always here, you're probably going to be one of the ones who wins, I think. I believe so. The algorithm doesn't exactly tell me everything, but that to me seems logical. So we'll go with that. Lisa says, good afternoon, everybody or all. JJ says, but I'm your favorite mod. JJ, you're my only mod. You're my favorite mod. You're also my least favorite mod at the same time. This is like a quantum mechanics thing. I'm pretty sure of it. King of Day, hello, afternoon, everyone. Always good to see you, King of Day. Welcome, welcome. 9 says, CC income hitting my accounts this coming week. Best time of the month. Yes, it's always good to when them dividends start rolling in. It's like a monthly Christmas in a way, but or trick or treat, I guess, this month because it's October. JJ says, yes, 9, rake those distributions in. Kevin Kaz is in with a good Sunday afternoon, gang. All right, and 9 is going to rake in those dividends. Luke says, hi, everyone. Hope September was as good to you as it was to me. Ooh, it sounds like Luke had a pretty good month. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Luke, I think this is your first comment in the chat. I don't remember seeing your name before. Welcome. I always love to see somebody who I don't recognize. It's like, ooh, this is awesome. I'm sure Candace's mod then. What's this? Schrodinger's. Oh, okay. You're the Schrodinger mod. So we're not sure yet if you're good or bad, or we have to measure all of that. It's just it's fun. It is fun. All right, let's do another membership here before we get to that first news article, because hey, I like to see who wins. To me, that's the fun part. All right, we are pumping up the win. Here it comes. Come on. I have to look over here to actually see it because I can't access it over here on StreamYard. JJ, the mod one. Oh my God. JJ doesn't. I guess JJ still probably. Yeah, I think JJ still needs a membership to access everything else. But yeah, that's hilarious. JJ claims to have hijacked the Google. I don't know. That's kind of suspicious. It's kind of suspicious. All right. I'm not going to count that one. I am going to drop one more right now. I want somebody who's not a mod to win. All right. Let's do it. Let's go bang bang. All right. Who's gonna do it? Who's gonna do it? King of Day. Congratulations. King of Day has won. Has relieved me of the shame of my mod winning. So this is fantastic. Woohoo. Prairie, nonetheless, being a gentleman, has congratulated JJ for the win. All right. Let's see. I work at Google part-time. JJ, you've got so many burners or so many things on the burners. I don't think you'd even have time to work at Google part-time, to be honest. Prairie says, congrats, King of Day. Woo, this is awesome. All right. It is time. It is time to actually get to our first story. Boy, it's oil. So as you guys know, the prices of oil have been going through the roof. So they have been flying up. What's going on? That's what we're here to talk about with this first story. Just a sec, I'm just pulling it back to get back into the chat with you guys. King of Day says a whoop whoop, thanks. You're welcome. Dwarley's in the house. Cheers from Calgary. Yes. I think I saw in the news that you guys were getting a Chinook last week, so probably really nice in Calgary about this time. So all about oil, the rise of oil, what's going on. So oil has had a great week, and So have our oil related investments, to be honest. So we're definitely getting some good stuff going on. So CNQ, for example, between Monday and Friday morning, that's when I pulled the data Friday morning, they were up 8.45%. So we've, if you're heavily invested in the energy sector, you've had a good week. What exactly is driving these oil prices? So obviously the big thing, and this is kind of not really, I think all of you will be able to guess what it is. The tensions in the Gulf. They're basically the number one factor right now pushing up oil. So investors right now, they're cautious as a lot of Middle East tensions have not, I don't want to say they've not, they have pushed oil up as much as expected. And it's kind of this thing. Before this event, what's happening right now, we've had a lot of tensions in the Middle East that have not pushed oil up as expected. And that's kind of where I think I'm going with that. So it's kind of been interesting. A lot of these things, like even between Israel and Iran, they haven't really impacted the price of oil. But this time is different. This time we're really starting to see a lot of movement. And what is it? What is different this time? Maybe it's because this time it actually feels serious. It actually feels like it's not a dress rehearsal, sort of like in the past. It was kind of a bit of a dress rehearsal. Now on Thursday, this is kind of interesting. So Thursday morning, one of the big things is after after Iran sent all of them missiles towards Israel, Israel has been planning a retaliation for that. At one point, they were talking about going after Iran's nuclear capabilities. And that's that could kind of be a bit of an issue. Now, Biden actually came out and said, no, come on. Let's measure our response. If you're not going to have, if you can't solve this with words, don't hit them. Don't have a big escalation. So now one of the options that Israel has is striking Israel in the oil. So in their oil reserves. Now, they did ask Biden if he was okay with that. And he actually said, well, just don't hit him in the nuclear. So because of that, and because of Biden's not telling them not to hit oil, that's got investors and it's got oil prices starting to go up. So oil responded. Basically, it went up about 5% just in the morning, Thursday morning, when Biden made that comment. So that's pretty big. Now, what of course is going to happen if Israel were to strike Iranian oil assets? You're looking at a surge in WTI, and a lot of experts believe that it'll probably push it up to about $84 per barrel. So that's not too shabby, but let's go a little bit further down the oil well. If Israel hits Iran in their oil assets, Iran will view that as an escalation. It's still an escalation. And what that means is they're going to retaliate. And one of the ways they probably would be looking at is by disrupting the flow of oil out of the Strait of Hormuz. So if they do that, that's pretty much one of the most critical oil choke points on the entire planet. So if we got that happening, if Iran retaliated by going after the Strait of Hormuz, what we'd be looking at is easily we'd be looking at $100 a barrel WTI. So that would be huge, of course, for our investments. Now, I still hope we don't get to either one of these points. I would really, really like to see them find if anything, sure, we understand that Israel has to retaliate, but do something lame. Just a lame retaliation that Iran can then sort of sit back and say, okay, yeah, we're even, we're good now. I don't think that's going to happen though, but still, I would certainly like to look at it that way. Now, this is not the only thing impacting oil. There's another factor out there as well that I think people are kind of not looking at right now because the Middle East is kind of overshadowing everything. Well, if you're trying to think what it might be, I've, and I asked a couple people, and their first response to me was, "Oh, it's probably because of the hurricane, because of Helene." Not really. You got to realize the thing with Helene is that Helene intensified in the Gulf, and they probably shut things down. Well, they obviously shut some of their wells down in the Gulf while she passed, but that really is not the big thing. The big thing is China. So the Chinese stimulus package, it is expected to increase the country's demand for oil because, we have been looking at recently China having a lower demand for oil. That's been part of the reason that the prices have been down. But this stimulus package is getting everything moving again. And that need for oil is going up with it. So that's what we're looking at. It's kind of interesting. It is kind of interesting to see how this is all going to turn out. Now, what do you guys think? What are you expecting out of out of what's happening? Obviously, I think when it comes to this overall Gulf thing, I'm hoping for a peaceful, easy way out. But it's just Israel. Please don't go too crazy. That's what I would say. But if they do, as you guys know, if you were at the market close on Friday, I did mention I sold out of DE. So I finally sold out of that position. And I just moved it all into XEG for the moment because if the crap hits the fan, I'm looking to make a little bit of money on XEG. So definitely kind of interesting. So yeah, there we go. That was our first story of the day. Oh boy. Not a positive one, but maybe if it has a happy ending. Yeah, black gold on the rise. JJ says seasonally at Google. Oh boy. Kevin Cass says glad to see Tullamarine up. Bought last year at 71 and have had to hold. Yeah, those of you who bought when oil was at its all-time highs, it's nice to see things moving back to the green for sure. 9 says, I was doing some due diligence for XEG on YouTube, and your video on it was the first in the search result. Ooh, I like that. I really like that. That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, I mean, I've been talking about XEG for more than a year. I think before anybody else even had it on their radar. You'll find I do that. Luke is in saying first time here, but I've been watching your video. Nice. Well, still welcome. I always love to. Hopefully, you know what, Luke? Hopefully you win one of the memberships today. Let's. You'll be you're now my pet project for this stream. Let Luke win. Come on, YouTube gods, let Luke win. And speaking of letting Luke win, let's do one more. Just give me a second here. Let's get this going. All right, here we go. All right, could it be? Come on, Luke. It's your turn. Luke. Use the force, Luke. No, it's Bismarcky. Bismarcky wins this time around, but we got more. We got more of these throughout the show. Hopefully Luke can pull it off. Hopefully. And JJ, making sure people don't forget he's a mod. That's funny. Welcome, Luke, says 9. Thanks, JJ and 9. Welcome, Luke. There's a link to the Discord. So we do have a Discord for anybody who is not aware. Lots of stuff that go in there. And you get to sort of watch the battle between me and JJ. JJ's changing names, and I change some of them back, and then he changes them again. The only thing I ask of JJ is don't use the same name twice. If I change it back, come up with a new creative one every time. Keep it interesting. That's the way I look at it. I'm pretty chill that way. Let's see. So what you're saying is buy more oil stocks. Well, if you think it's going to go badly, oil's not a bad place to be. Now, if it does, let's say they find a peaceful resolution and it doesn't escalate, oil will still be good long term. It may pull back a little bit, though, if that were the case. So just sort of keep your eyes on it. That's why it's important to watch things in the news. And later today, I have a news story. It's not in my list, but it's an additional news story that we're going to talk a little bit about. And I will tell you, it is something that may have a huge impact on tech. So we're gonna, well, we'll talk about that a little bit later. A little bit later. Bismarcky says, so you're saying go and buy more oil stocks? Yes, yes. I'm not saying you got to do your own due diligence, right? Yesterday says, I agree with your analysis. I don't think it will be a small response in Iran. I really don't think it will be either. That's not a good thing. Bismarcky says, another hurricane Milton forming in the Gulf of Mexico. Yes, it's a hurricane. It is now a hurricane. Now, this one is on a trajectory to pretty much come straight into Tampa Bay. So it's basically a trajectory that they haven't seen in the US since like the 1800s. So, it could certainly cause a lot of damage in there. So areas like Tampa Bay or Lakeland, which is not far from Tampa Bay, they could be in for a pretty intense middle of the week. So we'll have to sort of see how this goes. There's a couple of different models with this hurricane. One of them, one model, which is kind of the more interesting one, actually, I was looking at it. It had it going all the way up to a Cat 5 and then falling apart and basically hitting around like a Cat, almost a Cat 1. I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with that. But we have to sort of see. There's so many different models. I think as we get deeper into the week, I think the picture will start to become a little more clear. Right now, there's still, as in strength-wise, they're kind of still all over the place a little bit. 9 says, I expect the worst for the Middle East stuff. I like investing in energy regardless of conflicts. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Bismarcky is welcome, Luke, to the channel. Yesterday says Parex up 9.91% since I mentioned it last week. Just saying. There we go. Yeah. You got to like that. I love it when somebody mentions something, they come back and it's gone up and it's like, look at that. That's kind of cool. Let's see. Luke says, pretty sad what's happening in the Middle East. Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, the Middle East has been a powder keg for a very long time. So that is something to keep in mind. Bismarcky says, thanks. Come on, Luke. Yeah, come on, Luke. You got to win. You got to win. Check that, Candace. Checked out the new name. Awesome. Well, once we're finished the news, I can pull up the other screen. And then we'll take a look. We'll take a look at that point. Roku is in the house with a happy Sunday, everyone. Awesome. All right. Now this next story, is a bonus story. It's actually story. See, I have them numbered. Like the first story is number 2 because number 1 is I count my screen as number 1. Then this is number 2. So this is 2.5, and you guys will recognize this. We got more House of Commons drama. It's like, oh boy. So there's a liberal scandal afoot. It must be Tuesday or Sunday or whatever. I don't know. So the scandal that's currently making its way right now through the House of Commons, it's called, the Conservatives are calling it the Green Slush Fund. So according to the Auditor General, the government has been sending government money to liberal insiders via an old program. Now, they're not sending the money now, but they were sending it over the years. This program is called the SDTC. So it stands for Sustainable Development Technology Canada. So basically, the SDTC has been awarding funding to projects that were ineligible. And in some cases, some of these projects were conflicts of interest. In total, roughly $123 million worth of contracts were found to have been given inappropriately, with $59 million having been awarded to projects that shouldn't have received a single dime from the program. So this is something that the Liberals have been doing between 2017 and 2023. Yeah. Now, this, this is something that has been happening. Now, the Conservatives brought it to the forefront, and The RCMP are kind of involved now as well. But here's the interesting thing. So the opposition parties have wanted copies of the documentation for this. And the speaker said, yeah, you should have documentations. He ordered that the documentations be turned over to the opposition parties and to the RCMP, although the RCMP said they don't really want the documents, but the rest of the House has. So the Liberals, they refused. Of course, more threats from the House, and they eventually handed over something that was almost completely redacted. So, where you take all the black markers across pretty much most of the important information. So the speaker's not happy. The speaker is not happy, and he has suspended the Liberals' privilege. So what that means is that currently in the House, the Liberals are not allowed to advance any bills at all. They're not allowed to, nothing can pass. The only stuff that can happen right now in the House pretty much is the opposition. And, if you, I happened to check in on question period a bit on Friday, and quite literally, there was a Tory MP up there just breaking down the whole history of this thing. And I swear he talked for an hour or more. And that's pretty much what's happening right now. It's a little bit of a shenanigans in the House, but yeah, we got another scandal. It's like, why do we need more scandals? And here's the funny thing. This is not a scandal that's going to topple the government. The government's already in bad shape. But here's the thing, and this is kind of where we're at. So right now, to get the House running again correctly, the Liberals have to hand over the information. That's one option. Or there's another option. It's called a proroguement. So if they were to prorogue Parliament, all bills die right away, including the order from the House Speaker to hand over the documents. That also goes away. So that is something that I don't know if he'll do it or not, but it is something that could happen. One interesting scenario I heard is that if we got to a point that Mr. Trudeau decided it was time to step aside and let the leaders pick a new leader, well, that would be a perfect time to do that. You could have a proroguement, do your leadership convention during the proroguement, have a new leader come back. But I will say this: if we get a proroguement, I have a feeling, because this will kill all the bills. So all the block bills, their OAS bill and that dairy bill, those will both be gone. It'll also kill pharmacare. Pharmacare gone, just like that. So if we got a proroguement and we lost these bills, there's nothing stopping the oppositions from having a vote of non-confidence. Unless we really are, as the conspiracy theory sort of goes, that Singh doesn't want to vote non-confidence until he's gotten his pension in February. So, we'll have to see how this all wraps up. But I think it's going to be kind of crazy. I think it's absolutely going to be crazy. Absolutely. All right. Let me pull this up here. We have a taker for our subscriber sponsored video for October. So it's now closed, folks. We do have yesterday wants a deep dive into Borealis mining. And I'm going to like this one. Great. I hope so. That's fantastic. What's the date? Let me take a look here. I have it in the schedule over on Discord, by the way, guys. There is a schedule, and give me a second. I'm just pulling it up. I'll show you guys this a bit later as well. So let's see here. That will be right here. October 15th is the day that video will be released. So October 15th. Now, mind you, if you're a channel member, you'll get to see it October 14th. It's one of the benefits of being a channel member. You do get to see videos one day early. So nothing too shabby about that. Thank you yesterday. This, of course, does mean that yesterday is the GOAT. So we got ourselves a GOAT and a subscriber sponsored video. Fantastic. Thank you very, very, very much. All right. Now, Lisa's saying a liberal scandal. No way. Who could have guessed? Who could have guessed? I mean, normally these scandals happen. And they kind of throw the government into the no chance in heck to get into the next election. But in this case, it's, I don't know how much lower the Liberals can sink in the polls. It could be a situation, though, that there was a poll that did come out last week as well. It was in the rest of Canada, if you exclude Quebec, in all of Canada minus Quebec, the NDP actually moved ahead of the Liberals in the polls. So I can't remember the exact numbers, but they did leapfrog. Now, not in Quebec. In Quebec, the Liberals still hold over the NDP, but it was looking interesting. It's looking interesting. And we'll have to see as people start to hear about this scandal and it sort of sinks in as well. Are they going to sink? Are they going to sink even further? That will be an interesting thing to see for sure. All right. Now, yesterday gave to the channel. Let's give back to you guys. Let's get another video. Let's get another membership on the books. Here we go. Just clicking the buttons. Attempting to click the buttons. There we go. Bang, boom. All right. Let's see who wins this time. Will Luke pull it out? And the winner is Sandra. Sandra B has won a membership. Congratulations, Sandra. It's not Luke, but I love Sandra. She's awesome. So nothing wrong with that at all. Okay. We got more news. It's like it never stops. It's like the news cycle seems to just keep going and going and going. That's fine. All right. We got some U.S. news. We got and this time, instead of breaking it into a couple of stories, I just sort of combined our U.S. news all together. I'm calling it the U.S. Beat. So we had a very short port strike on the eastern coast of the U.S. that has come to an end. So that strike is now done. So basically, it lasted for a couple of days before the International Longshoremen's Association, they agreed to extend their current deal until January. So they don't have a new deal. They're just extending it until January. So that's, they'll still have to negotiate the contract. I think they'll probably get it done. They're showing that they're willing to be reasonable. And this is a good thing. The one beautiful thing about this is, even though it was a short strike, a lot of the big companies in the US saw this coming and over-ordered a lot of stuff. So it really should not impact very much of anything. So that's good news. There was more good news in the United States as the jobs report dropped on Friday. All right, get ready for this. They were expecting 140,000 new jobs to be added. And, well, they got more. They got 254,000 new jobs. Also, unemployment fell from 4.2% to 4.1%. Now, I will say with that unemployment one, you have to take that with a grain of salt, because a lot of employment, a lot of people come off unemployment in the fall, in September, because of schools and universities opening up and things like that. So that probably helped knock that number down a little bit. But nonetheless, it didn't get worse. So I do like that. I think these are some really good numbers. Now, how does this impact us? It does impact us a little bit. The big thing is that when it comes to rate cuts, there's no reason now for the Fed to go really strong on their next rate cut. So we're probably going to be looking at coming down to about a 25 basis points next time. There's no reason for them. If these job numbers had been bad, and we've been sort of talking about that, they would definitely be looking at another 50 basis points, but they got some good numbers. They got some good numbers. So let's see if they can keep this up each month after month. Maybe they can stick to that soft landing. That would definitely be a fantastic thing. Sandra is in the house with a hello, thank you. And Prairie is saying congrats to Sandra. Wow. Yeah, you gotta love that. Ah, boy. All right, we got more news stories. We got more news stories. Let's all right. It's funny. We had one oil story already, but we have another one. So Enbridge, I'm just going to pull that up. All right, just wanted to make sure that I could see the chat while I'm talking. Enbridge is planning to build some new oil as well as natural gas pipelines around the Gulf of Mexico. So they're set to spend $700 million USD for these new lines. So the first one is called the crude oil pipeline, and it's not called it, the crude oil pipeline. They're calling it Canyon Oil Pipeline System, and it will have a capacity of 200,000 barrels per day, and it's going to deliver crude oil from the existing Green Canyon 19 offshore platform for ultimate delivery to the Louisiana market. So that's pretty cool. Now, they also have a natural gas pipeline, which is called the Canyon Gathering System, and it's going to have a capacity of 125 million cubic feet per day, and it's going to connect to Enbridge's existing Magnolia gas gathering pipelines. So more stuff, more expansion down there for Enbridge, always good for that company. These pipelines, they are expected to be operational by 2029. So that could be, that's definitely good. It spells, it's one of those things like if you've ever looked at Enbridge's network, it's massive. Their pipelines are massive. And this, once again, is more domination when it comes to delivering, natural gas and crude oil. It's hard to not do it without touching some of the infrastructure from Enbridge. So good for them. I think it's going to be fantastic. All right. 9 says, I think long bond yields went up partially because of the jobs report. I've been DCAing into treasury duration in case of a deflammatory crash. Hopefully not. I don't want to see that. Just give me 1 second here, guys. There we go. I just wanted to take a quick screenshot of yesterday so that I can just I won't forget who I'm actually diving into. I won't forget Borealis mining because that's makes me think of the Aurora Borealis. So that's pretty darn cool. Whew. All right, let's actually, before we go to the next news story, I think it's time to drop another membership. All right, here it comes. Here it comes. Boop-a-doo. I should have a coffee while I wait to see who wins. All right, come on, Luke. 9. The winner is 9. 9-1. Congratulations, 9. It's another fantastic win. I love it. Now, Nuke. I was gonna say Nuke instead of Luke. I mean, Luke is new. Luke may not win, but we can still all hope for it, right? It doesn't hurt to hope. All right. This is kind of an interesting story. So RBC have named 5 Canadian companies on their top 30 global ideas. So these are companies to watch, basically, according to RBC. Now, some of these companies, I think most of them you're going to actually recognize. They named Cameco, so CCO.TO. And you guys know we've been talking a little bit about them recently with uranium going up. So Cameco was one of the top was in the was in the top 30. I don't know where these companies sit in that list. The article I was getting this information from didn't tell me, so I do not know, but it's kind of cool. So we got Cameco. Second one we got is Alimentation Couche-Tard, so ATD. They made the list. Canadian Natural Resources, so CNQ. Once again, some of these are community favorites. Vic will love this one. I don't know if Vic is here, but when he watches on the replay, he's going to love this one. Constellation Software, CSU. And finally, the last deep dive I did was for TELUS. TELUS also made the list. So that's absolutely cool. Love it. All right. All right. There we go. 9 was happy that that she won. JJ, what about Missy? That was the pet project 2 weeks ago. Well, yes, but maybe Missy will win and Luke will win next time. I don't know. It's kind of that thing. It's like I'll have one person on each show that I'm, just cheering for. Gotta have someone to cheer for. Now, JJ, this is, I think, before your time. Back when we had, we were doing market closes all the way through Christmas last year as part of our holiday celebration. We do something different every year. We had Skids. So Skids just couldn't win. And it turns out that it was a brand account, but we didn't really know that then. And everybody was getting all excited. I was ready to explode in case Skids won, but never happened. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Absolutely a lot of fun. Way to go, 9, says Bismarcky. Ian says, I'm dropping this comment to see if I have a star next to my name. That's funny. Yeah, why not? Yeah, why not? Everybody, Ian will probably win before the day is out as well. So I'll just put that down. Ian wins a lot. Prairie says, how do you think Enbridge's expansion will affect their stock? Keep in mind, this is something that the money's probably been earmarked for a while for it. So I don't think it's going to impact anything in the short term. Long term, yeah, they're going to be fine. I think Enbridge is a really good company. Despite the debt, despite what happens with them, I still love Enbridge. You've got to look at, I was going to say they have a really big moat, but they don't need a moat. They got all these pipelines instead. Terry says, go TELUS, woot, woot. There we go. Luke says, bought both spin-offs of Constellation Software. Did very well with Lumine so far. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Constellation Software is one of the really, I don't want to say one of the few, but it's definitely one of the best Canadian tech success stories that we have. So yeah, huge fan for sure. I think I'm pretty sure I did a deep dive on them once. Mary says, me too, love. Or Luke. Okay. Let's see. Topicus and Lumine. Yeah, topicus.com, another great company. Ian says, I hope I win. Have not paid for a membership yet. I'm stingy. Yes, maybe. Well, we'll see. I always look at it this way. If you're, it's a reward for being interactive, being interactive with the content. That always tends to do some good stuff for you. King of Day says, I sold my Enbridge not too long ago. The debt was too much for my liking. Yeah, understandable. I mean, that's why a lot of utility companies right now are doing well with the rate cuts, because they've got extra money now. They're no longer servicing their debt as much as they were before. So it is going to do good. Now, a lot of utility companies are going to have a good amount of debt. And the reason for that is, the writing is on the wall. These companies are transitioning over to renewables. So they are, investing in renewables and getting that going. And that does add debt for sure. So definitely something to see. All right. Let's go to our next story. Oh boy. So have you heard about the Costco? So far, now this is so far just the US, but Costco had a huge success with their gold and silver bars. Well, technically gold bars, silver coins. Get ready. Platinum. Platinum is next. So that's kind of cool. So this week in their US stores, they began selling platinum bars. So these are Swiss made 1 ounce platinum bars for, and get this, if you didn't think a platinum was expensive, a 1 ounce platinum bar goes for $1,089.99 USD, at least through Costco. There might be other way. There's probably places you can get them a little bit cheaper. And you do have to have a Costco membership if you want to buy a bar of platinum from Costco. Now, they started this back in 2023 when they began selling gold bars, and they sold more than $100 million USD worth of them. That's pretty cool. And that was just during the first quarter of that year. Hello, kitty. What are you doing? The kitten is just off to the side trying to, here, no. See, I try to bring her on the screen and she gets camera shy right away. She's just like, no, I don't want to. I just want you to give me treats. You're not getting treats, my little kitty cat. Hi. Yeah, she's sitting there. She's got her one of her paws up like a dog begging, like, please give me a treat, please. All right, she's given up on me. She's going to go probably hit up Jill to see if she can get a treat from Jill. Oh boy. So yeah, and of course, earlier this year, they did add the silver coins and now platinum. There is no word yet on whether or not we're going to get any of those up in Canada, but everything else, we've got the gold coins, the gold bars, the silver coin. We'll probably get them eventually. So just something that's kind of interesting. All right. Jay says, I'm almost at 2 years membership. Yeah, Jay was our first member. Our very first member was Jay. It was like quite literally, I turned it on and Jay was there. There's just like, it was like, I'm here. So yeah, Jay absolutely rocks. Yesterday said, Costco could single-handedly raise the price of platinum with this move. They could. I mean, a lot of people, if you think about it, I mean, people know about gold already. People know about silver. There's a lot of people that probably don't realize platinum. And now all of a sudden, you're going to have this big demand for platinum as a lot of the Costco people who are loving the gold, they're loving the silver. Now they're going to love the platinum. So that could be. All right. And just to skip ahead a little bit, Jill says she got treats. So there we go. The kitty got her treats. I love it. Ian says, sold my BHP last week. It fell 3% since then. I bought SPYI. I wanted a bigger dividend and a monthly payout is nice. Oh, that's not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. Whew. All right. We got more news. We still have more news. Another AI related story. This is my AI squirrel. So Robo Beaver. Robo Squirrel. I don't use squirrels anymore, just beavers. Okay. So the Canada Pension Plan Investment Board. So that's the CPPIB. They signed on to a joint venture with data center giant Equinix and Singapore Sovereign Wealth Fund, and they're aiming to raise $15 billion US to build more data centers in the US. So basically, their stake in this new company in this effort is 37.5%. And the reason they're doing it is, well, AI demand for data centers is absolutely soaring. So putting money into data centers is perhaps not a bad thing. So the US data center market has doubled since 2020, with vacancy rates at an all-time low of 3%. So this is something the Canada Pension Board has their eyes on, and they're thinking, okay, this is fantastic. They also made a 12% investment in AirTrunk last year, which is another data center investment. So, I'm hoping these are successful because, this is how they fund those pensions, like our pensions. So that would be good. That would definitely be good. Now, oh boy, I'm going to bring in the bonus. new story that I don't have a picture for this one. We'll just leave our robot beaver in place. But Hurricane Helene tore through South Carolina, and there's this one little problem in South Carolina. There's a pair of mines there, and what they mined is quartz, and not just regular quartz. We're actually talking about very, 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 very refined quartz. It's pretty much the best in the world. And this quartz is, of course, used for making computer chips. And they're pretty much the number one mine in the world when it comes to this. The other quartz mines out there, they just don't have the refinement that this mine has. They don't have as good enough quartz. Now, this mine, Hurricane Helene went right through it, flooded it. There's mud, gunk, all kinds of stuff, tore the road up to the mine. You can't even get to it. So that's not a good thing. Now, here's the problem with this is that right now, currently, all of our, people who need chips, so chip manufacturers, things like that, these are also used, by the way, in solar panels as well. So that's also really important. They have about a 2 to 3 month supply, and then they're out. So it's really interesting. And I did not know this. I found out that during the pandemic, when we had that chip shortage, it was because people couldn't, because of the lockdowns, people weren't able to make it to these mines. Now, there are other mines. They just don't make it in the purity that this mine has. So, but some of them will be, of course, tooled up to get them going. But that's going to take time. So we have 3 months supply, roughly, right now. And right now, we're at a situation that these mines, what has to happen is, first of all, they have to wait for the water to go down. Then they have to drain them. Then they have to assess what equipment is damaged, what equipment needs to be replaced. Then they have to clean everything and get rid of the mud and silt to get things back. So it could be, they haven't given a time frame, but if it's more than 3 months, and it very well could be, we could be looking at a chip shortage. If we get a chip shortage, that could have an impact on tech. So this is the type of news story that right now I wouldn't worry about it at this point, but it's something to follow and it's something to watch. And I'm going to keep my eyes on it because, it could be very interesting. It might be a situation to lower a few of your positions in tech, but right now, don't worry about it. Let's just see once they have an assessment. We'll know about it. I saw a YouTube video on it earlier today, and then I went over to CNBC, and they had a big story on it as well. And I was like, okay, yeah, this could be one of these little black swan events in the making. So just something to keep in mind. Definitely something to keep in mind for sure. Worth bringing it up, though. That's for sure. Just so that we have it in our crosshairs at this point in time. So let's hope they can get it all fixed and a lot faster. If they could get it all fixed in 3 months, that would be fantastic. So we'll have to see how that goes. All right. 9 says, if TD got rid of fees for ETFs, I would use it more. $10 per trade. Oh man, $10 per trade. That is insane. I only use it because TD was my old brokerage account before Wealthsimple became popular. Yeah, absolutely. Yesterday says uranium and ing got to fuel those data centers somehow. Yeah, absolutely. Harry wants to know, what is WS? A Wealthsimple. North Carolina. Yes. Did I say something else? I meant it was in North Carolina. If I said something different. Ian said Wealthsimple. All right. Let's see. Is Wealthsimple good and seems Canada-based? So Wealthsimple is a Canadian. It is a Canadian broker. It's sort of like the Canadian version of Robinhood, without all the scandals. There haven't really been any scandals that I'm aware of with Wealthsimple. It is. It's a commission-free broker. It's nice. I like it. I like it very much. Yeah, I mean, any of you who are in Canada or are Canadians and want to do some investing, if you're thinking, hey, maybe I should check out that Wealthsimple, there is a link down below, by the way. So feel free to go below, grab my referral code. You get $25 when you sign up. They also throw $25 back at the channel. So just letting you know that's how that all works. Ian says, I work at a mine as was able to work through the whole pandemic. Surprised the Americans shut down a mine. Yeah, yeah. And I don't know the full story behind that. I only heard a bit. So I'd have to do more research to find out why the heck they would even do that. But something to do with the supply chain for sure. Nine says, Wealthsimple is great, no trade fees, and they add new features regularly. Yeah, that's the thing I love about Wealthsimple is every time I think I have a new feature I want, Wealthsimple comes along and just does it anyway. So I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. JJ saying exactly what I was saying earlier. Though, I mean, I'm behind in the comments. Maybe JJ said it first. I'm not sure. Jungle's heading out. All right. See you later, Jungle. Actually, if you're on your way out, let's do one more of these membership things and see who's going to get it. I'm always curious to see. Bang, bang, bang. Here we go. Boop-a-doo. All right. All right. Here we go. And our winner, Ian. That's hilarious. Ian was talking about, I never buy one. I just wait till I win one. There we go. Congratulations, Ian. Fantastic. All right. Harry says, I use TD and explore Wealthsimple. Awesome. Is it good for trading stocks options? You have access to options on Wealthsimple. It really boils down to, though, and this is where if you're doing like day trading, I don't think it's the best platform for that. Well, for one, I would never use an app to do day trading. I always use the desktop versions. So, that's the reason that I do any of my trading over on National Bank. They're also commission free. But if Wealthsimple's desktop app were a little bit better, I would definitely move everything back for that reason. Ian says, I emptied my BMO Investor Line account. I did not close my account. Hope I don't get a bill. I go there sometimes to check dividend information. They have solid information. Oh, nice. Yeah, well, hopefully they don't. I have no experience with BMO Investor Line, so I can't tell. I couldn't tell you. Yesterday says Power Corp of Canada owns Wealthsimple. Almost. So Power Corporation of Canada, they're the biggest investor in Wealthsimple. So they definitely hold. They're the majority shareholders. So they own the most shares out of anybody in Wealthsimple. I thought it was like 53%, but I could be wrong on the actual number. But yeah, they're huge. I mean, that's the thing. If you want to invest in Wealthsimple, just invest in Power Corp of Canada. So that's POW. And yeah, then it's like you're getting a piece of Wealthsimple when you do that. Guys, there's not enough likes. Mary saying hit that like button. There's like 58 of you in here right now. So I don't know how many. I have no clue how many likes we currently have, but I have a feeling it's not 58. I'm gonna have a sip of coffee here. Fantastic. And by the way, 58 is a new record. I think our record before was like 55. So not too shabby. All right. Everybody congratulating Ian. Ian's win was funny. Nine says for TD, they do charge you around $20 a month if your brokerage accounts are under 15K total. I would check the fees for BMO, Ian. Yeah, and I think it's the same thing. Like with Wealthsimple, but with National Bank, there's a yearly fee that they have if you're, I think it's 20,000 with them. So, if you're okay with paying now. Mind you, I don't know how much the charge is, but $20 a month, that might be a lot to get access to their charts, because I'm sure you can find better charts out there that are maybe free. Let's see. Vaughn says, which app for trading US ETFs? So yeah, if you're looking to trade US ETFs, you got a couple of options. You do have a couple of options. Now with Wealthsimple, the one issue that you're going to have with that is conversion fees. So one of the options for trading US ETFs with them is that basically you could set up a US account. If you have less than 100,000 though in your volume, in your balance, they charge, I believe it's $10 a month for that. Now, another option is if you go over to National Bank, you get commission-free trading, and you can set up a free US account that you could sell US ETFs in. There's still a commission fee to go back and forth. However, you can use Norbit's Gambit to move money between Canada and the US, and that's going to, that'll charge you a lot less. The only fee that you're going to pay for is just there's a small fee for them to move, because you're basically buying an ETF that's a Canadian ETF that also has an American version, and you're moving them, and you're getting them to move it. There is a fee to do that, but it's much less than the conversion fee. You can also, another option is Questrade. Questrade also is pretty good with US ETFs, and the Norbit's Gambit works there as well. In fact, if you're really looking for information on the Questrade version, the best place to go, because I don't use Questrade, but the best place to go is Canadian in a T-shirt. Although over here, we often refer to him as Banana Bread in a T-shirt, but Canadian in a T-shirt, best place to go. He's got some fantastic videos on Norbit's Gambit. So I highly recommend you check out his actual name is Adrian. Check out his channel. That's it's a fantastic video for sure. Jay says, do you get any referrals from Wealthsimple? So yes, anytime anyone signs up using my link down below, I get $25. They get $25. So it's kind of a cool thing. So yeah, I get the odd one. People who come in. Most of you have already heard of Wealthsimple. So if you guys, let's bring up Moomoo for a second. Oh God, I hate bringing up Moomoo. But some of these other exchanges that have been pushing their way into Canada, one of the reasons a lot of the YouTubers are promoting things like Moomoo is because they've already gotten all of the Wealthsimple referrals, because most of you already have Wealthsimple. So they're like, oh, well, here's a new one. Let's move as many people over here as we can and get our Moomoo referral rewards. I'm not going to do that to you guys, because I don't like Moomoo, and I'm not going to pretend I like a brokerage that I don't like just so that I can get referral rewards. Nah, I'm sorry, I don't roll that way. But with Wealthsimple, if you haven't used Wealthsimple, I do like it. So I don't mind. Getting you guys $25 and getting me $25 in that process. I'm perfectly fine with that. Jonathan says, I don't like the 1.5% FX fee at Wealthsimple, but other than that, I love it. Yeah, that's the thing. And unfortunately, Wealthsimple does not have a Norbit's Gambit when you're doing it that way. So that's something to take into consideration. I know there are some people who will use, for example, they'll use Wealthsimple for their Canadian stuff, and they might use Questrade, for example, for their American stuff. So some people will split it up. It's whatever floats your boat. I look at it that way. Let's see. Ian says, remember the Beverly Hillbillies, how the bank would bend over backwards for Jed? That was me at BMO before I moved everything to Wealthsimple. Probably, used to get every fee waived. Probably not now. That's hilarious. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, hey, banks are like that, especially depending on, obviously, you got to have a certain amount of money before you get that VIP treatment. But yeah, I love the Beverly Hillbillies. I thought that was a fantastic show back in the day. Now I don't think I was around for the original broadcast of it, but when I was a kid, they were in reruns quite a bit. So one of those shows I loved. Yeah, Jed Clampett and Granny, and the theme song is stuck in my head. I know it, so I'm not going to sing it. Maybe I'll sing it on tomorrow night's live stream, but I'm not singing it today. Vaughn says, thanks. Hari says Moo seems giving high rates for uninvested money. Yeah, I haven't really looked. I haven't looked too much at it. They kind of lost me a couple of things with Moo. One, they pestered me a lot to try to, like, quite literally, I was getting emails every day from them. Now, not anymore. I think they finally got the message that I'm not going to work with them. And then the fact that, you know, the fact that commissions, I think there's no need. I mean, really, if I'm going to pay commissions, I'm not going to pay commissions. There's just no way. I don't think in today's day and age, you really should have to pay commissions. Brokerages make a lot of money. They have lots of methods of making a lot of money. They don't need commissions. Commissions is, to me, it's overkill. There's just everything from the spread that they get through brokerages. They're making tons of money. They do not need commissions. So I'll leave it at that. All right, we still got another story. And it's actually a Starbucks story. You guys remember good old Starbucks? So, we had this running gag on the channel for the longest time where I would basically be holding up my Starbucks cup and I would be like, come on, Starbucks. It's time. It's time for you to sponsor me. I'm drinking your coffee. Well, technically, I'm just using their cup. This is regular instant coffee inside of it. But then one day we had this stream, and every time I pulled up my Starbucks cup, I got a super sticker for I think it was like $2 from and it said from Starbucks. Obviously, it wasn't really Starbucks, but I was kind of questioning. It was kind of weird. Like, it just kept happening over and over through this entire stream. It was absolutely crazy, but never seen that one again. But then we've had other ones start to pop up. So, for example, right now it's the Banana Bread Company. And I have a feeling that Starbucks that popped up on that one show and whoever's doing the Banana Bread Company, I have a feeling it's the same person. I love them to death. They have brought a lot of, and it's not just because, they brought donations to the channel. It's because that Starbucks thing was absolutely funny. That was I think anybody watching that show was just loving it. So, I think they've done some really good stuff. So I definitely appreciate them. It's hilarious. And I know they had another one as well, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, they had a Mr. Math. They had a Mr. Math that popped up as well. And I thought that, I think I almost cracked up when I saw that. So that was awesome. Definitely awesome. The big bank brokerages just do it because they can, with charging commissions for each trade. And yep, I got a lump sum and drip with TD brokerage. All right, cool. Oh, I brought up the picture. Maybe I should actually bring up the news story. So Starbucks, they've actually bought a couple of interesting coffee farms down in Costa Rica and Guatemala. So they're looking at farms that are specializing in coffee varieties that are more resistant to volatile weather conditions. So you guys may have heard the coffee crops this year not doing so well. Not doing very well at all. Extreme weather, so in places like Brazil and Vietnam. And these are places that absolutely produce more than half of the world's coffee. They've left the entire industry scrambling because some of the weather has absolutely decimated some of these coffee plantations. So right now, the entire industry is pretty much scrambling to secure enough beans. So yeah, it's not good. So this is kind of where Starbucks is thinking that they want to basically I was going to say waterproof, but weatherproof their supply. And they have currently developed 6 coffee varieties that are resistant to leaf rust, which is a coffee killing disease that's become more common in some of the regions where coffee is growing. Now, if you think we haven't seen any of the effects on that yet, you're wrong. So coffee prices in Canada have already risen over 23% just in the last 4 years, with volatile weather sending Arabia. There we go. I knew I would get it if I kept saying it. Sending Arabia bean prices to a 13-year high. So some experts are saying that more cafes and retailers will be forced to raise their prices really, really soon. So within like 6 months. So that's not great, not great at all. All right. Ooh, we got ourselves a super sticker. Let's pull it up. So Why Videos? Why Videos has jumped in and they are now the new GOAT. Congratulations, Why Videos. Thank you as well for your support. Why Videos has been around for a while and has always been awesome. And Why Videos saying, thanks for the stream, Candace, and congrats to the winners. Yeah, and we're not even done yet. We're not even done yet. Let's add somebody to the winners list. I like winners. I like the losers too. I mean, I like everybody, but let's add another winner to our list. There is Vic. Vic just came in. 9. Seriously, 9 won again. That's funny. But 9, you already won. How can you win twice? I guess 9 has 2 accounts. All right. Just a second. I'm going to drop this again because it's like 9-1 in stereo. I mean, it's funny. It's funny. All right. Let's do this one more time. Let's see what happens. Vic, perfect timing, dude. Perfect timing. Holy banana bread. That's hilarious. Vic said just parked. Those of you, we just recently found out on the channel that Vic is driving 18-wheelers. So that's fantastic. I love it. I love it. Luke, haven't won yet. You haven't won yet, Luke, but keep trying. Well, you'll win eventually. Quite honestly, if you're in here and you're like, I never win, just little things that you can do is like, throw likes on videos, things like that, or even throw up a comment and say, hey, great video, that type of thing. I think all of those things get processed by the algorithm when it's deciding who's going to win. So that's just something to keep in mind. All right. Yes, 9 won twice. Oh, that's hilarious. All right. Vic said, I was here, then left, finished the haul, and back. Nice. Nice. Awesome. Awesome. I know one of the news stories earlier, Vic, we mentioned Constellation Software, and I called you out. I said, yeah, this is one that Vic likes. 9 said, my bad. This is my laptop account. That's fine. That's fine. Absolutely. Way to go, Vic. There we go. But thank you. Double 53 trailers. Nickname is Lucky Luke. There we go. Well, maybe, I don't think I'm done yet. So you may still win something. You never know. You never know. That's the way I look at it. Let's see. I never won too, but I'm not active. Well, you've been active. Why videos? You're fairly active. I look at it this way. If I look at your name and I recognize it right away, then I think of you as being active. So, like Luke, I'm starting to recognize because I've seen Luke like multiple times today. So that's not too shabby. All right, we have. All right. Ooh, here's I love this. This is like a new home day. People I've never seen before. So Sarah's abstract boyfriend is in the house. Been watching for the last couple of weeks. First time catching the live stream. Wow. Well, welcome. And by the way, those of you who are new to the channel, we have this live stream on the weekend. So it's this week. It's our news focused live stream, but we also have a market close every Wednesday. So we start about 15 minutes before the market close. We have a bell. We have a bell that we ring on that one. It's fun. It's loud. Sometimes as well, we throw up a couple of extra ones. Like I usually give people a chance to win one. Like Wednesday, I'll probably give people a chance to win a one for Friday. We also have little bonus things. Like, for example, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern, is the channel's 3-year anniversary. So we're going to I'll answer questions like this. But I'm also going to eat a chicken nugget with a teaspoon of Da Bomb on it. And that's, if those of you who don't know what Da Bomb is, it's, if you've ever heard of that show Hot Ones, it's the one that makes everyone regret coming on the show. So yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I imagine there might be tears, there might be hiccups, there might be sweating. I don't know, but it'll be fun. Prairie says, "Congrats, Vic. Welcome, Sarah." Jordan says, "Do you normally run B Train?" More welcomes. And Harry says, "I am first time new and came across a nice channel and learned new items." Well, congratulations. I'm glad that I'm glad you found the channel. It's one of these things like, I always find it funny to find out how people ran into the channel. I know I was actually talking to JJ, and JJ was telling me that, yeah, I discovered you through Brandon Beavis because I was on one of his live streams once. JJ found me there, and so it's always fun. And I know that some of the people who've been here forever, they originally came from like from the High Rye community and came in. I don't know how many people are left from that community, but I know there's definitely a few, absolutely a few. I believe Vic is actually from that community as well. So, been around for a long time. Gotta love that. And Jordan here. So Jordan, he does a lot of streaming over with well, it used to be, I think it's just Friggin now, but it used to be the Friggin Oracle, because he used to be part of the High Rye community as well. And I had Ken from Friggin on here quite a bit back in the early days when I used to have Saturday night live stream instead of this. So yeah, so that's always it. But you know what? That's the type of conversation we should leave for tomorrow night. Because that's probably good for the birthday type show. So anyway, now I did jump over Vic here. A family gavel business that will pick up drives for money. Nice. All right. Let's see. Why Video says, "You talked about the quartz mine, but did you hear about the potential lithium mine in the affected area?" No, I did not hear about the lithium mine. See, look at this. We're going down a bigger rabbit hole. It keeps on going. Uh-oh. But I think with the quartz is that these two mines, the quartz ones, they produce quartz at a level that nobody else in the world does, like a purity, something like 99.9999% pure. So they're pretty big. They're pretty big for sure. Lisa says, "You should let me hook you up with a super hot sauce that doesn't contain extract. You would be surprised in how hot some sauces are that contain no extract. If you are close to Canada, you should." Canada. Well, I'm not that far away from Canada. I live like in Ottawa. I'm actually in the South Keys area. So, but yeah, I used to, a long time ago, I used to spend a little bit of time in Canada because I used to work for Compaq, and they used to have a center out in Canada years ago though. Jordan says, "I stream over on Kick." Ooh, I've never been to Kick. I might have to check that out, Jordan. I might have to check that out. Actually, I haven't even heard of Kick, so that's kind of cool. Lisa says, "I'm a hot sauce snob, if you haven't noticed." Nice, nice. It's funny. Well, the funny thing is, Jill loves throwing hot sauce on my stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, I like hot sauce, but I don't need to have hot sauce on everything. But sometimes I think non-hot sauce people think that if you like hot sauce, you kind of want it on everything, and it's like, no. But I do like to have it from time to time. Vic says, "If oil goes up, can Canadian dollar goes up to parity?" I don't know about that, but I don't think I would want that. Well, number one, I mean, if the Canadian dollar actually matched the US dollar, that wouldn't be good for us when it comes to our exports, because it'd be more expensive for the US. Hence, there might be cheaper options opposed to Canada. So I like it when it's around I think right between 73 to 75 cents, I think is that sweet zone where I liked our Canadian dollar to be. Sarah's abstract boyfriend says it was your top 5 dividends video that found me. Watched it and subscribed and binge watched. Oh, nice. Gotta love the binge watching. Um, I had a lot of top 5 dividends videos though, but actually, speaking of that, tomorrow, or not tomorrow, sorry. Well, tomorrow for the channel members, you'll be able to see the next video, but it's actually a top 5 dividends video coming out on Tuesday. And this is a new series. We actually talked about it, I think, last week. Kind of like the investing on a budget series. So it's going to be, stocks with high dividends that are less than 15 bucks. So that's going to be cool. Yeah, Jordan, definitely. Send it over to me. I'll check it out. I'm curious now. Lisa says Chili Chili's has an online store too. Oh, nice. The most recent one. Okay, okay. Thank you, thank you. I love that. I love that. Um, Here's another person I don't think I have seen before. Redoubt. Your stock analysis has helped my understanding as a beginner. Thank you. Well, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. This is like a day where I'm seeing all kinds of people I've never seen before. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I can't wait. Now, we do have this thing called the Crypto Corner. And there we go. Let's pull it up here. There we go. So I do have one story in there for us today, and this all has to do with Visa. Actually, this was Tim Danter from the Danter Banter. He pointed this out. He emailed this over to me, and I looked at it. I'm like, oh yeah, I got to put this in. So basically, Visa's launching a platform to help banks issue stable coins. So these, of course, they're going to be fiat backed tokens. So that basically means that they're connected to a real world currency. So the product will be known as the Visa Tokenized Asset Platform, or VTAP. And it's going to allow banks to mint, burn, and transfer tokens or coins while still in the testing phase. The plan is to go live next year. So that'll be very, very interesting. Now, over in the world of Bitcoin, of course, it's been interesting. It has been absolutely interesting. It's like we keep on threatening to break up, and to finally start that final bull run of the of this market. But so far it has held off. So one of these days, like I'm convinced one of these Sundays I'm going to come in here and we're going to be able to just have we're going to be able to talk about Bitcoin quite a bit, because it's going to be like, yeah, it happened. I'm still pretty bullish. Like, I think we're at that point that the longer it has right now, it's probably shaking some people out of the market, but I'm still pretty bullish, and I'm still expecting I'm expecting some amount of movement upside in October. Now, if we get to the end of October and we have not broken the all-time high, so what's that, like around 73,000 USD, then I'm going to be worried. I will start to be a little concerned at that point. Hopefully we break it. Hopefully. JJ says, so welcome to the new peeps for your Commune mod. Okay. Terry says stocks under 15 bucks that have regular. Yeah, we're going to look like, this is the thing. I'm probably going to do, like, this time around, I'm doing high dips. I'm probably going to do a total return under 15 bucks. Maybe we'll look at growth stocks under 15 bucks. So there's a few different ones I can do. I'm going to, not back to back, but I'll do them every so often. But I think that will be like a regular thing that we'll do from time to time, because I think, a lot of investors, like especially new investors, if you're a new investor and you come into the market and it's like, you're starting to look at some of the stocks and you're like, oh my God, look at the price of that. Like look at Constellation Software. That thing's like over $4,000. Some people just like to be like, you know what? I want to get in. I don't have a lot of money. I'm just starting this. Maybe I just want a few little stocks here, get some good diversification. And those stocks can make sense. Like, not everybody wants to, drop, like a whole big chunk of money for like a Constellation Software, or even something like CNR is pretty expensive too. So that's just something to keep in mind. Vineet is in the building with a hi. Hello, Vineet. Good to see you. Yes. And Harry says, MicroStrategy went crazy up. Oh, yes. MicroStrategy They have been blowing up. Like when this Bitcoin, if we get this Bitcoin explosion that everybody is expecting, MicroStrategy is going to go, they're going to go past the moon. They might go to Mars. I mean, they've been doing absolutely, absolutely fine. Music mix. Is this live? Time check. Right now, I'm looking at my clock. It says 5:29 p.m. That's Eastern time. So is this live? Yes, of course it's live. Although, funny enough, you could conceivably, you could film like an entire, like I could do a 2 hour, I could do a 2 hour stream and then just rebroadcast it as though, but I wouldn't be able to interact, of course, with the comments. So just something to put it in there. Prairie says, I love my pizza. Yeah, they're starting to make their way back up. I'm happy about that with pizza. We got Mario in the house. Good afternoon, Mario. Good to see you. Yes, okay. I'm glad. Yeah, we're definitely live. I'm actually kind of an interesting concept. So every year at the holidays, I do something special. Last year I did, that's where market closes came from. That came out of the holidays because I did market closes straight through, pretty much through the to the end of the Santa Claus rally. So that was kind of cool. Now, what I am thinking this year is I might do a financial vlogmas, but I'm going to do it different, of course. If I do it, I'm not going to make like, I'm not going to make them as videos. Like a lot of people who do Vlogmas, they make videos. I'm going to do it all live. So it might be a situation where we do like, maybe 15, 20 minutes every day through December. And we just go on, talk about a few things. We'll still do all of the other stuff like the market closes and all of this. This will just be something in addition to all of that. So that's kind of where my mind is going. I'm kind of trying to formulate it together and figure it out how it's going to be, how it's going to look. Let's see. What platinum for hour? I'm not sure what you're asking, Music Mix. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're asking. I'll let you clarify that before I answer, because every time it's funny, and this happens on this channel a lot, guys. I will get a question, I will read it, and I don't understand it. So I'll try to guess what I'm being asked. And almost every time I guess, I then maybe pull up the other screen, I start to look at a stock, and I'm completely wrong. I'm absolutely, completely wrong. So it's like, uh-oh. Oh, any ideas? So you're looking for, let me guess, you're looking for what? Investing in platinum? That it boils down to, though, do you want to are you looking for physical platinum, or are you looking for like an ETF, for example, that may have exposure to platinum? So, there's definitely different ways that you can go. Let's see. Oh, you're wondering what the price. Okay, short. That's a good question. That's a good question. Now, or you are looking for an ETF. Okay. Music, just give us a moment. We're gonna finish the news, and then I can pull up the other screen, and then we can take a look. Because I don't have any off the top of my head, but we'll take a gander. We'll take a look. We'll see what we got there. All right. Now, we do have just give me 1 second here. So coming up this week in the news, so in Canada on Friday, October 11th, this is a very important day because this is when our jobs data drops. And I've been talking about this. We need to see unemployment not get any worse. But if it does get worse on Friday, October 11th, you can probably guarantee we'll see a larger rate cut than the traditional amount. So that's going to be very, very interesting. Now in the U.S. on Thursday, they have CPI coming out, and on Friday they have PPI. Now we are at that point where CPI and PPI is not really as important as it was earlier in their fight against inflation. Now, I've always mentioned as well, like the U.S., the Fed, their favorite metric is PCE, so the personal consumers expenditures. And the reason for that is that, in a way, PCE kind of pulls information in from the CPI and the PPI into it. So definitely kind of interesting. Earnings wise, not really a big earnings week coming up. So there's not a lot to be too concerned about. All right, guys, we are done the news segment finally. So now it's just questions. It's your guys' questions, all of that fun stuff. I can pull that out. And I can pull this up. So, whoops. There we go. We'll jump over here. This is the Discord, by the way, in the schedule. As I mentioned before, this is what is coming up. This is that big show tomorrow. Our 3-year celebration live stream, 7 p.m. Eastern. So you definitely want to check that out. It's going to be a great show. It is going to be a great show. We'll have some fun. I couldn't tell you how long it's going to go. Really, it's up to you guys. It's up to you guys. You guys can tell me how long it's going to go. So that will be absolutely interesting. Okay. Let's see here. All right. So Music Mix is looking for ETFs Platinum. All right. Oops. There's our thing here. But all right, let's just come over here. I'm just going to come in. I'm going to type in Platinum first and take a look and see what we got here. Now that's a penny stock. I do not want penny, but I do like Sprott. So this here is a Sprott Physical Platinum and Palladium Trust. So let's take a gander. Let's see how they've been doing. Oh, they have been kind of sliding a little bit. That's never good. Never good. Never good. I don't like to see that. But okay, now from my understanding, these Sprott ones, they basically will hold the metals. So okay, Y Video says they actually have this one. Yeah, basically they invest and hold all of its assets in physical platinum and palladium. And that's fine. That's fine. That's what they're holding. They've kind of been going down a little bit, but that's a 3-year. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at just the 6 months. So they have been moving back up, and that does make sense. But there are different options out there. So I don't have a ton of them right now. Music Mix is day trading. Oh, fun. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Trading commodities can be challenging, but that can also be, depending. Problem I have with trading commodities, and this is my biggest problem, is that there is, they can react to so many different things. So sometimes it can be a little bit, it can be a little volatile and not always in the right way. So I always say be a little careful with that. Gold, I like gold. I think platinum is probably the same way. Like, if you wait long enough, it's going to definitely go up. Especially if all of these platinum bars that Costco is now going to be selling, if that starts inflating the price, we'll have to see. I don't know if it will or not, but it definitely is something to look at for sure. All right. Now, one thing, I'm going to go back up to big screen here because I have to pull up my other thing here to do another membership. Here we are. I'm just going to drop one more. All right. Let's see who. Whoops. That's the wrong button. This is the right button. Okay. Well, let's go here. All right. Let's drop it and we'll see what happens. All right. Here we go. So we have another one coming. And who is going to win? Mario. Congratulations, Mario. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. You're not a swing trader? No, actually, I do swing trade. I do a lot of swing trading. Not a lot with commodities, although I do like swing trading Bitcoin ETFs. So Bitcoin is technically not a commodity, but sometimes it behaves a little bit like it. Now, back in the day, I used to actually spell I used to have to do a lot of trading with gold. And 9 just hit it, GLD. That was kind of one of the ones that I used to trade from time to time, but that was more day trading, I think, when I was looking at the gold. So, but yeah, it is something that I do. I just don't, my goal with swing trading is get in, make make some good opportunities. And I do have a swing trade going on as well right now. Like I have some long swing trades that are going. One of my long ones is in the challenge. I'm actually doing this long Air Canada one. So that is, well, I'll show you basically. Let me show you. I just have to bring up the right screen before I bring you guys in. Here we go. All right, with the Air Canada trade. All right, and this is what I'm actually doing in the 0 to 100K challenge because it just sort of gives an idea. So what I've done in this challenge here, and I'm going to go back to the 10-year on here on Air Canada. Go away ad because I don't want to get copyright claimed. I've had, it was the Grand Slam, the Paris Grand Slam from many years ago, started copyright claiming me for some reason. They only did it twice, but I'm still annoyed by it. I'm still annoyed. I'm like, what the heck? So something interesting. But here's the whole thing. So Air Canada had been on a tear before the pandemic, and you can see pandemic massive fall. Now they did dilute shares like crazy in the aftermath of the pandemic. So they're never going to get back. Well, I don't want to say never, but the chances of them getting back to $50 slim to none at this moment. Now, what is possible though is this little zone in here. So mid 20s, like not even mid 20s. I'd say 22 to about 25. I think this is very reasonable for their recovery. So what I've been doing is I've been sort of buying every time they slip below 16, I'm buying more shares and adding them in. So this could be, I don't know how long this is going to be of a swing, but as soon as they get to $20, everything I bought at less than 16 is being sold. So this is a longer term swing trade. And it's just one of these things. Like a lot of times when I do swing trading, I do like to find channels. In this case, I have like a channel set up for this. And I'm all, I got a plan in place, which is always a good thing. If you're swing trading without a plan, you're planning to lose money pretty much. That's the way I look at it. All right. And we got some congrats for Mario. Let's see, for commodities, I buy GLD. So yeah, GLD. And let's pull that up here. GLD. There we go. So this is Gold On Resources. All right. Or are you talking about SPDR? So GLD is not the one I'm talking about. There's another one. What is it? Is it GLCC? It's been a while since I've traded it. GL. No, I don't think it. Well, yeah, it might have been this one. I might have been playing this one. I don't care. Like, this is the funny thing is I don't care if it's a covered call. If I'm making a day trade, I'm looking for the volatility. So GLCC, I'll pull it up here. Let's just take a look at we'll go to the 5-year. You can see that this, there's a lot of movement up and down. I played this one quite a bit. But that was when I was day trading. This is one of the ones I like to use because they tend to move quite a bit. Now, sometimes though, sometimes it was frustrating. Sometimes I found it frustrating, but it was not bad. It was not too bad. So that's GLCC. So that one there is a Gold X producer. It is covered call, but I never really worried about it because when I was day trading, end of the day, I'm out of everything anyway. So I don't actually run into a situation where I have to deal with the drop that you're going to get when you have ex-dividend day. Although this one here sometimes it was not a bad thing to actually buy in first thing at ex-dividend day because it would usually rise the rest of that day. So not too shabby. All right. Let's see. Mario says, I have the Hamilton Gold ETF. We got a bunch of congratulations to Mario. Let's see, dollar cost average in stocks. That can be a good strategy. Yeah, dollar cost averaging. I mean, that is, if you're a long-term investor, dollar cost averaging will usually beat people trying to time the market 99% of the time. There's the occasional person that might get lucky, and maybe beat dollar cost averaging. But when you do dollar cost average, you're buying at the high, you're buying at the low, you're buying in the middle, but when it all averages out, you're basically averaging out to the fair price of that asset. And that tends to do really well. People trying to time the market, sometimes they absolutely botch that. Actually, a lot of times people will botch that because it's hard to know where the bottom is. And so you end up buying halfway down the bottom, where if you were DCAing and that just, the bottom happened to fall on your regular buy time, fantastic. You've now just made a really good buy on that one. So now some people will use kind of a hybrid where you basically take a certain amount, like let's say you take 75% of your investing funds and you DCA into your assets. And then, you might sit a little bit in cash that you're looking for days where you do have significant retracements. And then you can, put some of that in when you do see a sale. That's, it's perfectly fine. Like I always say, you will get people who will say, this is the right way to invest. And I always say, no, there's many right ways to invest. The right way to invest is a method, is basically the method that works with you and that, it fits your risk profile and that you're making profits. That's the big thing. I mean, obviously, if you have an investing method that does not produce profits, then yeah, it's probably not the best way to go. Or maybe you just need some serious tinkering with it to get it working for you. So kind of that thing, like and this is kind of interesting. This probably initially came from somebody who actually, I think it came from Warren Buffett at one point. Stocks are like soap. The more you handle them, the less you have. And, that can absolutely be true. So it's one of those things like, it's one of the reasons I sort of advocate that, when a rebalance, like let's say you were a quarterly rebalancer, your rebalancing may be nothing. Like you may come in and everything is perfectly fine, in which case you don't want to rebalance for the sake of rebalancing. If there's nothing wrong with your account, leave it alone, let it grow. That's how you make money. All right. Ian says, I've been selling 50 shares on Rio Tinto every day. It's over $70. Nice. Nice. Yeah. Ian has been around for a bit. He's got some, he runs into some really good information. Actually, Ian came up with this one idea that I thought was fantastic. And it all has to do with tax loss harvesting. So one of the points that Ian made once is that if you're tax loss harvesting just before January, when you get your new TFSA space, you can pretty much beat the system because you can take your loss, and all you're doing though is you're not even really taking your loss because you're just moving it into your TFSA, that new contribution room, and buying it back. But outside of your TFSA, you've got a loss on paper that you can then apply against a capital gain. And I thought that was brilliant. I do want to make a video about that. And I will of course give Ian full credit because when he said it, I was like, oh my God, that makes perfect sense. And I love it. I absolutely love it. That was fantastic. Absolutely. I was going to say Nine says, yeah, I do SPDR GLD tracks. Gold spot done well for me. Sarah's abstract boyfriend says, how do you not upset the CRA, but still sell from time to time in your TFSA? Like the DCA long swing you mentioned, like, is it a certain amount of money or amount of times? Well, here's the big thing. So when I make this move with Air Canada, so when I get to $20 and I sell, the CRA doesn't care about that. But if I buy Air Canada back within basically 30 days, I always go 31 days just to be on the safe side, that could get flagged. And that's then starts to look like day trading because they're okay. Like rebalancing your portfolio is fine. Selling out of one asset, moving into another, perfectly fine. It's the big thing is don't be buying the same asset back. For at least I always say 31 days. I know the number is 30, but I say 31 days because you have to keep in mind, like even if you go to the CRA website and try to figure out, okay, give me the rules, guys. They're incredibly vague about the whole thing. So that's the big thing. Don't buy back the same thing. So sideways movements, yeah. I mean, technically you could day trade if you were day trading, not the same thing. Like for example, you're riding up one and you know selling it, buying a different stock at a lower price and riding it up. You could do it that way. But if you were trying to do it, you would have, because keep in mind, like a day trader might make, maybe you'll make 15, 20 trades in a day. So you need to keep track. So everything that you do that with, you can't touch any of them for another 31 days. So that's why it's usually not even worth to try it, but I wouldn't worry about making smaller moves. It makes sense. Now, if you want a registered account you can day trade in, your RRSP is perfectly fine. The CRA does not care. And the reason they don't care is because everything in your in your RRSP is taxed 100% when you pull it out. So they're not worried. Like if you day trade in your RRSP and make a ton of money, they're fine because they're getting that money when you pull it out. They're getting all of that taxes on it. So that's the reason why the RRSP is day trading friendly. But you're kind of like, well, I guess it kind of doesn't really matter if you think about it, because when you are day trading, it is business income when you pull it out. Same idea with the RRSP. If you were day trading in there and making your money there and pulling it out, you're going to get taxed on it, just the same as you get taxed on it if you're day trading in a personal account. So it's the same. It's the basically same general idea, other than it's kind of the only difference is, and this is, I guess, where I would say, if you're really day trading, if you have normal investments in your RRSP and you're day trading in there as well, it can get to a point that if the CRA could technically look at you and say, well, those are now considered day trading too. So you kind of have to be a little bit careful that way, but you won't get in trouble for it per se. So, and even then it wouldn't matter really if you think about it, because it's not like they're going to make you pull stuff out of your RRSP so they can get the taxes. So they're still getting the taxes. They probably wouldn't care, but nonetheless, it's just a situation where don't do it in your TFSA. Make trades, absolutely, but just don't get yourself into a point where you have to start keeping records so that you don't get you don't get labeled as a day trader. So you definitely don't want to do that. All right, JJ says, I'm heading to volleyball. Peace out, y'all, and see you tomorrow on the special live. Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait. This is going to be good. See, that is a good strat. I know that strat that Ian came up with is absolutely fantastic. Ian says, sometimes I tax loss harvest with the RRSP. I also find that it's better to have eligible dividends in the non-registered and then put the dividends in the RRSP, get better tax return. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the whole thing. When it comes to investing, I mean, everything does boil completely down to math. I hear thunder. I'm just putting it out here. Like I keep hearing a rumbling, and I just realized, oh, it's thundering out. Fun. We actually did have, I think was it this week? I think it was. We had a this week one time where we did have a thunderstorm happening and you guys could actually hear the thunder. So I was like, ooh, that's so cool. Sarah's abstract boyfriend says, thank you so much. I've been quite confused about this and you clarified it perfectly. Even all the little questions I had that run through my head constantly, I really appreciate it. No problem. That's what I'm here for. Invest in TFSA, trade in RRSP. Gotcha. There's more nuances to it than that, but that was the TLDR, I guess. Yeah, absolutely. Now, one thing people can do in your TFSA is there is this thing here where some people will invest in really big growth stocks just to pump up the size of their TFSA. And in a way, that's kind of the goal, really, if you think about it. So expanding your TFSA as you're investing through your younger years and even into your middle years is huge, because what you want to do is when you get to that point that you're ready for retirement, the object is to have as much room in your TFSA as possible. And by room, I just mean as in have it as big as possible, because then if you are in that situation where you want to create a nice tax-free source of income in retirement, the more you have in there, you can convert that all to to dividend paying stocks, and you can really create a nice sized income that's tax free, which is the fantastic part. So there's like a situation like you could technically be in a situation where you could have very little income, like taxable income in retirement, and you could even qualify. Now, surprisingly, they don't have a loophole against this, or they don't have anything against this yet. But you could get to a situation where you have your OAS, your GIS, because you're not making any money, and a ton of income every month coming out of your TFSA tax-free. You could conceivably create, that's almost like the perfect world in a way. So there's a lot of different things that you can do, and that's, pumping up your TFSA is huge if you can do it. That's one of the reasons I usually tell people when it comes to investing, your TFSA is kind of your quarterback. It's your quarterback of your investment portfolio, and you want to really get that grow as big as you can. Now, keep in mind, you want to keep track of your contribution room because you don't want to go over that, but you can grow it as big as you want. That's the beautiful thing. You can grow it to be huge. And not by day trading. Now, one of the people who was in the news, I think last year, their TFSA was up in the millions, but they got there through day trading and they got caught. And, it's not like they didn't lose their money. Well, they kind of did. They had to pay taxes on all of it. So, never a good thing. Let's see. Invest in TFSA, trade in RSP. Okay. Oh, I already read that one. All right. Mario, there's a storm in my city. Oh, what city are you in, Mario? Maybe you're not that far from here because, the thunder's in the distance. Let's see. 9 says, yep, all my non-registered income gets into the RRSP or the FHSA, so First Home Savings Account, because my TFSA is always full. Smart. Absolutely smart. Readout says, I just want to build enough dividends to cover NHL and CFL season tickets when I retire. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Okay, let's see. Vineet says, did you hear about the BC man? Well, what happened to the BC man? Let's see. He made a lot on Tesla and is suing the bank. Uh-oh. I hear in the background, I think one of the cats was bad. So, oh boy. So he made a lot on Tesla, and why would he be suing the bank though, Vineet? That's kind of weird. All right. Ian says, TFSA and eligible dividends in the non-registered account are a big part of my retirement plan. Wealthsimple has a fun calculator to help you strategize. Ooh. I actually been thinking I did a review of Wealthsimple way back early, like quite literally, it was like one of the first 10 videos on the channel. And a lot has changed since then. So I'm actually thinking of doing another Wealthsimple video, do a full breakdown of everything they have now. Like, they've got everything now. They got taxes. You can do your taxes through them. They've got, of course, tons of crypto if you're looking at crypto, and I think they still have that private equity in there as well. So there's a lot that I could certainly look at in a new review. So it's on my short list. Like, it's something I'd like to have done before the end. When I say short list, before the end of the year is my short list. So definitely. All right. Before we get to Prairie, let me I'm going to actually get rid of this here for a minute because I have, let me see here. I think I still have one more to give away. I do. All right, let's go. All right. This is Luke's last chance of the day. This is Luke's last chance. I think it is. Here we go. Here we go. Let's have it. All right. There we go. And the winner is Vineet. Vineet has won. Congratulations, Vineet. As we're waiting for your, there we go. I see it. Your response here. We'll be there in a second. Could you have a quick look at PIF, Polaris Renewable Fonts? All right, let's take a look here. Let me bring it up again. Bang. All right, PIF. It's funny. Every time I see area there, I start thinking about calculus because area under the curve. PIF, Polaris Renewable. Here we go. 1223. Let's take a look here. Now, this is kind of normal right now in that sector. A lot of renewables have not been doing that fantastic, but let's take a look on the shorter term. Okay, so they've done a little bit better here, but they're still kind of drifting down a little bit. Now, they are in the positive, so their EPS 1.03. That's good. They have a pretty big dividend. Okay, interesting. Let's jump over and check a look at a couple of my favorite metrics. The return on equity, a little low, 2.87. Return on assets, 1.49. Oh boy. 63% debt to equity ratio. It's not terrible, but it's not super great. And they've been paying this 15-cent dividend. So yeah, I have a feeling that, and just give me a second here. I want to come back here and see one other thing here. Okay, so they got a pretty small market cap. So with a market cap this small, with a dividend that large, I think it's going to be hard for them to, I would not be counting on them for significant growth. They might recover some of what they lost, but I would look at this one as being more of an income thing at this point in time. So now as we do move more, now this is just in the current situation. As we get to a point where renewables become even more important, we could look at this start to change. But for now, their dividend seems to be their big play. And I'm kind of curious on what, just give me 1 second here. Let's go into, all right, let's go here into Yahoo for a second. All right, we're going into Yahoo Finance only because that's where I can get their payout ratio here and take a look and see whether, all right, 162.16, that's high. That is high. Makes me want to check one more thing just to get a complete picture here. I'm going over to simplywall.st. All right. And I'm going to bring up PIF. Here we go. Dividends. All right. Perfect. All right. Well, this is interesting. If you look at their payout ratio in comparison to cash flow coverage, it comes in at 40%. So their dividend may be sustainable looking at it from that perspective. I still hate to see the earnings version up as high as I still don't like to see it, but I think the dividend is probably safe for now. We don't really need to look at the rest of that. But yeah, I wouldn't get too excited. And if you're looking for growth, I would temper it on that. All right. Luke says BRICS members will meet in Russia on the 22nd of October. Will this boost the gold price? I think so. Depends on the outcome of their meeting, right? I know that a lot of the BRICS members, so some of the BRIC countries, are definitely putting a stress to going back to more of a gold standard. So it could be good for gold. It could be. I think gold is going to have a good year. Like I think right now, as long as there's more instability in the world, we're going to It's going to happen. Gold will still go up. All right. Ryan says, and see, in my opinion, I wouldn't speculate anymore on my TFSA because when I am wrong, I lose that room forever. Yeah, absolutely. It works in both directions. So it's one of those things like when you are choosing, like if you're going to try to pump up the size of your TFSA, you don't want to be doing it on penny stocks. You don't want to be doing it. If anything, I would say, stick to some reliable stocks with good fundamentals that are going through growth. So, for example, right now, as we are moving into rate cut territory, things like REITs right now are great because they tend to respond really well to rate cuts because it lowers a lot of their operating costs, also lowers a lot of the servicing on all the mortgages because REITs hold properties, so mortgages are a normal part of their business. So that is something just to keep in mind. You would not, like I would say, if you have a speculative stock, a penny stock, or something that doesn't have great fundamentals, it doesn't belong in your TFSA. So you want to be a little bit careful because if you do lose that space, then absolutely, that's one of those things that you want to be careful of. You definitely don't want to mess around with anything of that nature. Vineet says he lost all the money and wanted to be protected or advised to prevent it. Yeah, that's not going to happen, Vineet. Yeah, your bank is never going to ever insure you against making a bad move in the market. Nobody will ever do that. So yeah, he's not going to win. He is not going to win that case at all. And congrats over here to Vineet. Vineet is so excited. I have won. Yeah, absolutely. It's always good. It's always good to win. I did see a flash of lightning out there, so we do have a storm brewing. Let's see. This channel is not a tax channel, but eligible dividends are incredible. If used properly, might be a good idea. Yeah, it's interesting. I did early in the life of this channel, I did more tax-related videos, but amazingly enough, they just did really, really poorly. Like the audience was just like, yeah, I don't need it. But I did do a few tax-related videos initially. And I'll probably touch on taxes, but I'm probably going to embed tax information within other topics because then people will actually watch them. But yeah, the tax videos did absolutely dismal. But every so often, around tax time, I notice that a couple of the tax videos get, pick up a few more views and a few more views. So they have a little bit, well, they kind of have evergreen, but taxes change every year. So I usually say, how evergreen can they be? 9 says, I like CC ETFs in the TFSA, protects you from the extra taxes. But yeah, absolutely. And, and even with covered calls ETFs, I mean, you can play it smart. You can look for ones that, are not sort of like plummeting. So one of the things I like to look at, for example, is I will look like with a covered call ETF, I'm looking at how they've been performing through good times, bad times, and keeping in mind, whether or not I want to hold it, because I'm always concerned. Like the last thing I ever want to do is shrink the TFSA, because that would never be a good thing, as mentioned earlier by Ryan. Exactly. REITs, loving REITs right now. Yeah, there's a Wealthsimple tax calculator, and Wealthsimple also has taxes. So if you want to do your taxes, and they give you a whole bunch of options. So you can do it yourself, where you just use their forms and they do all the calculations for you. And you can pay as little as nothing. Like you don't have to pay anything on that. You could choose. Like they'll say, how much do you want to pay? And zero is an acceptable answer. Then they have other versions where you can actually get a tax professional to come in and spend like a half an hour with you. So that's not a bad thing either. So if you need that extra help, it is there. So, but I mean, honestly, if your taxes are so complicated, you might even want to just hire a professional, whether it be an accountant or someone or a tax professional at that point. All right. Let's see. Maybe I didn't understand what you're saying, but I thought you were only allowed to tax lost harvest between stocks and non-registered accounts. Yeah, basically, I mean, with his idea is basically you are tax loss harvesting, but you're putting that money into your TFSA, into your new contribution room. And then you're buying this, basically you're buying the same stock that you just sold, but there's no rule about that prevents you from doing that. Because what you would normally do with tax loss harvesting is you would put that money into another stock. And then when that stock grows, especially if you're going a sideways, like let's say the banks were down. And so you sold Scotiabank and you moved it into National Bank. Fine. That's fantastic. But once the sector recovers, all of that money goes back up on National Bank. So you technically are still paying the taxes, but you're basically just moving them. You're moving the taxes you would have paid on Scotiabank over to National Bank. And when everything goes back up, you're still paying for it. But by moving it into that empty contribution room, you basically created a tiny loophole. So when that bank goes back up, you're not paying for any of that. It's, that tax loss that you basically have created room that you can put it on something outside of your registered, and you're not banking that loss for later in that way. Because that's kind of what happens is tax loss harvesting really is basically you're shuffling the taxes. You're not paying taxes on this because you're using a loss, but you're moving that money to something else that's going to pick up that gain eventually, and you're still paying in the long term. If that makes sense. I hope it does. All right. Yes, take a loss in the non-registered, then go buy the same stock in the RRSP or TFSA. Yeah. And the RRSP, I mean, in that sense there, you are technically going to get fully taxed on it because everything gets taxed out of that RRSP. Let's see. Eligible dividends are solid. Let's see. This year I was up on Enbridge in the RRSP, down on BNS in the non-registered. So I sold them both and rebought them in opposite accounts. It was right before Enbridge ex-dividend when the dividend came out. I put money in the RRSP. Okay, interesting. Now, Enbridge is having a pretty good year this year too, by the way. Let's see. I did my taxes with Wealthsimple last year. Yeah, I did. I actually have a video from early on. I did my taxes one year in Wealthsimple, and I filmed the whole thing. So it is in here somewhere. Let's see. Yesterday, I find the more you pay, the more you get back. Not always the case. Oh, fair enough. Let's see. That's what I said. And just before I read this here, I'm going to have a cup of coffee. Oh, that's so good. 9 says, for the cover call ETFs, I usually do index-based ones or sector-specific. I don't do the ultra high yield ETFs. They are too risky for me. Yeah, absolutely. And this is kind of where I was going at, that you can get some covered call ETFs that also have good fundamentals. So that's one of those things I definitely like to look at. Vineet says, I think it was 4 million. Oh my God. That's a lot of money to lose, but I don't know. But here's the thing, he sold it when it was down and created the loss. Tesla, if this whole robo-taxi thing works this week, Tesla could have a good week. We're going to have to watch. I'm going to watch it. I'm not gambling on it. I know some people in the community probably are, but this is what I'm thinking. I'm just going to sit back and watch. But yeah, it could be interesting. Okay, guys, we're really close to the end. If you have your last questions, your last minute questions, get them in. We'll get to them here. All right. Well, there we go. Perfect. I was just taking a gander to make sure that I gave away all of the membership. Actually, I actually dropped 11 today. So I didn't do 10. I did 11. There we go. One of those days. Fantastic. I think this has been a pretty good show. We also, early in the show, yesterday bought the subscriber sponsored video. So we're going to get a deep dive. I believe it's the 15th of October. We'll be getting a deep dive on Borealis mining. This is going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. So absolutely cool. I can't wait. This has been a really good show. Ryan says, thanks for explaining, Candace. Also just explained. Oh, All right. Oh, well, thanks, Ian, for explaining as well. Thanks to you both. There we go. You got explained in stereo. So there we go. It works. It works. All right. Okay, guys. Well, I don't seem to have any last minute questions. So this seems like a good enough place to learn, to basically to take the step out, per se. I was reading what Readout said at the same time here. That's why I was like, like, hey, what's going on here? All right, give me a second here. Let's see what this. I need to learn more about eligible dividends. I'll ask next time. Thank you again. Absolutely. In a nutshell, eligible dividends. They're basically most Canadian companies, if they are Canadian, situated in Canada, produce eligible dividends, meaning that you get better tax treatment on them, opposed to ineligible dividends. And when you look, like, I probably should make a video on a dividend, like a dividend video, because some dividends, when you look at them, there might be a whole bunch of things in that dividend. Like, for example, there might be, especially with ETFs, you might have eligible dividends making up a portion of your dividend, foreign income perhaps a portion, return of capital a portion. So there's a whole bunch of things that can be broken down. It gets a little complicated. I think that just moved higher up on my list of things that I need to make a video about. So I'll look forward to that. All right. 9 says, thank you for the stream. Terry says, bye. Thank you. And some, I'm not sure if they are. Okay. Well, like I said, Redoubt, I'll move that higher up on my list. Like I'll put it on the short list. So before the end of the year, we'll get a dividend breakdown video on what you can find. The anatomy of a dividend. It probably won't do well, but I think it'll be great for people who are interested. So we'll get that done. Yesterday says, great show. Thanks. That's a perfect thing to end it on. All right, guys. It's been 2 hours, 16 minutes. Another fantastic stream. I will see you here again tomorrow night. And you guys get to watch me suffer. It'll be fun. It will be a lot of fun. All right, everyone. Take care. Bye.